Hey everyone, and welcome to this, our latest edition of Extra Time, a chance to respond to some of the questions which today's Sunday session might have raised for us. This week and last we've been exploring forgiveness, and this week in particular we've been looking at ways in which we might be able to forgive ourselves for the mistakes, the wrongdoing we can often carry with us, even when God, through Jesus, has already forgiven us and assured us that there is no condemnation for those who are in his presence. If you recall, we looked at the story of the woman caught in adultery, a famous tale perhaps in which Jesus' response to being put on the spot about her actions is a bit of a gift for us to take on board and explore further. But first, to get us going, and in thinking about trials in particular, why do you think crime and police dramas are so popular on TV? What's your favourite crime or police TV show or film, and why? In this story of the woman caught in adultery, we noted that only the woman is brought before Jesus to effectively stand trial, even though the man involved would have been just as guilty in breaking the law. And so some questions which might spring out of this. To what extent do you think gender still plays a role today in how people's behaviour is judged? And then secondly, to what extent have your attitudes on gender roles and behaviour changed over the years? And then connected to this, how has your faith helped shape your attitudes? Now, in the story, the Pharisees and teachers of the law would no doubt have said that they were simply following the law in presenting this woman caught in adultery as someone who should be stoned to death. These Old Testament rules and others like them present us with a complicated problem though. I mean, on the one hand, we're likely to agree with rules such as those in the Ten Commandments where God states, "You shall not commit adultery." But then, when being stoned to death is outlined elsewhere as the suitable punishment for such behaviour, we obviously choose not to abide by those rules, and Jesus himself masterfully diffuses this option in the story. And so, what do we do with this tension? Or to put it another way, how do we know which parts of the Old Testament we're to follow today, and which parts reflect an understanding of justice or behaviour that we do well to leave behind? And then secondly, connected to this, how does Jesus' approach to the law and the Old Testament as a whole help our understanding of it? Now, by declaring, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her," Jesus frees the woman from any condemnation from her accusers, and then in turn also assures her that he doesn't condemn her either. And although Jesus then tells her, "Go now and leave your life of sin," we're left in the dark as to how the rest of this woman's life pans out. Is she able to change her ways? And perhaps most importantly, is she able to forgive herself for the actions which Jesus himself has already forgiven her for? Forgiving ourselves of wrongdoing and mistakes, putting down guilt and most of all shame from our past behaviour can be incredibly hard to do. But why? Why do you think forgiving ourselves is such a difficult thing to do? And then think about this one. Which do you struggle to let go of most? Feeling guilty at the things you've done wrong, or feeling shame about who you feel you are? And when you've thought that one through, how do you think Jesus would respond to the thoughts you've shared? Moving on, and in the book of Forgiving, Desmond and Mpo Tutu suggest a fourfold path to follow in order to find ways to forgive ourselves and therefore free us from guilt and shame. This fourfold path involves admitting the wrong, witnessing the anguish and apologizing, asking for forgiveness, and renewing or releasing the relationship. And so, thinking of the fourfold paths, perhaps both from this week and last, how helpful do you find these fourfold paths in your approach to forgiveness? And then secondly, which of today's 4 stages do you think you would find either easiest or hardest to do? And then finally, for now, how might those around you help you to embrace forgiveness in your life? Either forgiveness from God, from others, or for yourself. Alright, we'll leave it there for today. As I said in the session, we're back next week thinking about all things Advent as we begin to get into the festive feel and think about all that Jesus being born as God with us means for us today. That's next time, but thanks very much for engaging once again with this stuff today. Do get in touch if you'd like to share any thoughts or feedback, comments and so on. But until next week, take care and let's get together again soon. Bye for now.